Nakabenta ki khobor ke baman kasngi subscribe yo Antor News.
Kini kilong kiwaro kung saan munta kasi kakanon Kabinet kala pdiang ban iapeit bniah biang ya koresta system iathuh Myntri Rangbah ka jylla ukanat ki sangma hadin ka jyngalang Kabinet kablalong mana ka kynhun una jemang kati kakanon Myntri kabala batay baka samra ay kay batay presentation na biday bar koresta system haka jyngalang jang iathuh ukanat sangma kijing batay kababanya belawan ra apo kynhun Myntri hadin balai yakmi ya ketika jimatai kakun Myntri kelahun ya ki ai baro ki beladan ki katu ni ki pensai bala ai bat hadin boro balai menjur hakaban penyak sakmat ya ti ka kampus ngo ukondar ki sangma walaupun tip bakate kaju kajing patai onsara ru kajing lang ji mda wan salong menta kasngi bakumju on sa pesang ru sekseng sempatei hakaban long hakat kana ter ujemang hadin balai depan ilut bat aiktian sabaro ki kynhun nakleng kajalang sakot ya kajingalang ber kynhun yang moper kuntup kisang bahalang ber kiwede kani kadai kajingalang basau wan salong hadin sitio belabu puar ya ka hadin siposingi ong ukondar ki sangma.
Once we are able to communicate to all different stakeholders from throughout the state, we will be having a meeting with the stakeholders also, which includes NGOs, religious organizations, different social groups, and other stakeholders. So that is a fourth meeting which will take place after about a week or about 10 days later. So these were the few discussions and decisions that were made in the Cabinet and presentations. I'm open to it. I cannot give you details of that because we have to give the presentation to everybody. But as I said, I have mentioned it earlier also, that roster and recruitment is a continuous process. And after seeing the details of how a roster works and how the system will follow in the future and how the system has been in the past, as I said, detailed presentation was given, and all the Cabinet colleagues were very satisfied after seeing the presentation. And the presentation was based on all facts and figures, looking at the reservation policy and looking at the complexities of roster system, and accordingly, as I said, a presentation was made. As we go along in the next day or 2 days, I think the press also will be briefing them most probably day after tomorrow, after the all-party meeting takes place, and I think you'll be getting a clear picture by then.
So the Voice of the People Party, they have stated that the problem is not with the roster system, but it is with the reservation policy, and that is why they are demanding for immediate review of the policies.
As of now, the discussion that we have called for is regarding the roster system. So we are sticking to the roster system as of now. So we want to clarify on that and decide on how we should move forward first.
Now what about the will be the same one?
As I said, it's a continuation process. It's a continuous process, and hence it goes on. Recruitment is a process that goes on. Everything that happens, is a continuous process, and hence. Once we give the presentation and once you see the details and once you see how things are, I'm sure that you also will understand. And based on that, we'll move forward. So what has happened in the past obviously adds up to how things are now. But as I said, the way the system is, it's continuous, and therefore there's no question of, I've mentioned it in the past also, there's no question of retrospect or prospect. It's a continuous process.
But the same political party has threatened to intensify their agitation, stating that the reservation policy in its present form is not proportionate.
As I said, we have not discussed on the reservation policy, and this is something that has been not in the agenda that is coming up in the next few days. Right now, we are talking about the roster system, and we're sticking to that as of now. Recruitment is going ahead. There's no problem in that. And as I said, wherever, and I said, we are, at the same time, we're discussing with everybody. Once the presentation is given, I'm sure that all of you will also, once you see the presentation, you will understand what it is, and I'm sure that you will also appreciate how we're going to move forward.
Now my point is, since May 2022, when the High Court order came out, it has asked the government to stall all recruitment process till a roster is put in place. So in that case, there are many youths who...
Well, this was something, so that was something that obviously was a court order. So we had to follow that aspect. This is something that was way beyond our control or our our thing. So we had to go by the court order, and that's a situation that we have to, I guess, adjust and to work in those given circumstances. So yes, there have been certain individuals who may have been affected, but at this point in time, there's nothing much we can do about that because it was a court order and we had to follow it.
So there's a lot of demand.
The government needs.
How will the government deal with the demand of a political party saying all recruitment process should be stopped now until
Well, it will lead to more delay then.
Until a reservation policy is reviewed?
No, as I said, we are working on the roster, and the roster system, as per the court order, as soon as it is out for certain whichever departments and whichever post, the recruitment is continuing.
So there's a lot of demand for the government to implement this roster system prospectively but not retrospective. What is the mind of
So,
government?
as I had mentioned to you, there is nothing called retrospect or prospect. A roster is a continuous process, and the posts keep filling up. When we show the presentation to you, as I said, you will understand that. So if we have already waited for some time, so allow us to complete the process in a proper manner. So we have made a relaxation for teachers as a rule, saying that from now on is going to be relaxed from this age to this age. For police, not for police, but for other also government servants, government posts also, we have again done the same thing. So therefore, those are done from a policy point of view for as a permanent measure. What you're mentioning is a situation that was there, and in those situations the things happened, like for example in COVID also some things were there, we could not do the process. So we cannot simply based on situations like this, we cannot simply come out with a policy that is going to be there.
But the government has the power, so can't you bend the
No, I understand. I think if government starts bending the rules for everything, I think there will not be any policy. So there are certain areas where we have to draw the line. We have to go by the system. If we start doing this, then tomorrow what is there to stop somebody from saying that, well, there was too much of rain, so that we could not come in and we lost 2 months, so can you extend it for 2 months again? Government has to follow certain systems, certain rules. We understand the inconvenience that was caused. It is nothing that was not within our reach and not within our control, and we had to follow the court orders.
So how will the government address this issue that has arisen out of this roster system? One community is saying that the roster is in favor of only one particular community. How will you address this issue?
No, that's what I'm saying. So once I give the presentation to you, and once you see the presentation, you will see we have gone through it. We have given the presentation to thing. The recruitment process has gone in the past, and based on that, we have a system. We have seen how it is the recruitment has taken place, and therefore that's a continuous process, and it will continue now in the future. Once, as I said, you see the presentation, you will understand what I mean.